What is up, Copy Squad? It's your boy, Kyle Milligan, Copywriting.com. Today we're going to talk about 5 catchy headlines that are not clever. So, I've got 5 headline styles that will basically catch attention. You don't have to be clever to do these. I'll say I'm going to do it probably like maybe most clever to least clever or something. This one right here is probably the most clever one that I could find. Oh, and before I forget, which I always do, my book, Take Their Money, How to Write Words That Really Make You Rich, is live. And you can get that at kylethewriter.com/book. And that should teach you how to write copy. Okay, so here's the 5 things, right? So headline number 1, I call this the contradiction headline. So if you want to grab someone's attention and make them keep reading, one easy way to do that is to embed a contradiction right there in the headline. And this headline, and this whole promo, to be honest, is like one of my favorite promos. This is the Money Map. I don't know if you want to call it I'm done with stocks promo, or if you want to call it their master algorithm promo, or if you want to call it the Money Zone promo. Regardless, it's a fantastic promo. I highly recommend reading this promo, and it's in my Swipe file if you want to check it out. So, you'll notice right there in the eyebrow of this bad boy, it says, America's #1 stock analyst says, I'm done with stocks, and so are you. And then it's pumped up. After 8 years of secrecy, Shah Gilani is revealing a new way to make money in America, up to $11,000 a week without touching a single stock or stock option again. Okay, now there are a couple things that will apply. So the first thing you'll notice here, contradiction. So the #1 stock analyst quitting stocks. Maybe you're a little intrigued. Of course, they still provide a benefit for you there, telling you you can make money in America up to $11,000 a week without touching a stock or stock option. So when you got the contradiction, but you still need like the 4 U's, which I got over here on the left: urgent, unique, ultra specific, and useful. And this is definitely useful because there's a benefit in there, right? So it's really important that no matter what you do with these headlines, it's still relevant and useful to your reader. You need to know who your reader is and what they want. For financial copywriters, the reader wants to make money fast because, well, here, I'll show you our guy. I've showed him a couple times, and he's a big hit. This is Grandpa Kurt. This is the Agora Financial customer avatar. He's an older gentleman, conservative, in his 50s, maybe early 60s, who saved for retirement but doesn't have quite enough. He needs to grow that very quickly. So what's he to do? He's going to look online, and he's going to find stuff like this. Now he's going to want to get these kinds of promotions. He's going to want to get these opportunities because he's tried the Wall Street way. And in the .com bubble, he lost all his wealth. And then when the housing crash, 2007 crash, he lost all his wealth. So he doesn't trust Wall Street. He wants something alternative. He wants something that's not in the stock market or not typical Wall Street, right? He doesn't want that anymore. So that's why we do what we do, and that's why it works, because he's actually looking for something different. That's headline number 1. The first idea is a contradiction, okay? So introduce a contradiction and kind of get them thinking, what the hell is this all about? Again, I go over like these things like the 4 U's and how to properly like build a headline in my book, Take Their Money, kylethewriter.com/book if you're interested in checking that out. Cool. Next, the $15 trillion gadgets. This headline style, number 2, is the too big to ignore style. And essentially what this is I just went like so big, like you've got to like know what it is. Like it's so enormous, $15 trillion. And there's a bit of a contradiction here because it is a gadget. I call it a gadget. And I immediately have James hold this little thing and say, look at this little thingy. It's worth 15 trillion bucks. So I'll say there's a little bit of a contradiction in there. But the point is, it's so big, you can't ignore. I slightly tease a little bit of a contradiction in there, and I make it bigger than the things you know are the biggest thing in the world. Like everybody knows Google's the biggest thing. Everybody knows Facebook and Amazon are the biggest thing. But I've got this little thing, a little bit contradictory, right? I've got this little thing 9 times more valuable than all of them combined, right? So that's the too big to ignore headline, and we wrote this one for the man James Altucher. Okay, the next one. Okay, this is the details one. Yeah, I love the details one. So details is kind of like copywriting in its purest forms. This is number 3. And what I love about the details thing is it's really easy to do. All you got to do is strip out details that don't mean anything and put them together. And it creates a sort of weird intrigue that makes it creates the itch that needs scratching. Okay, so this headline says, why the Pentagon is securing millions worth of the liquid technology inside this unmarked tanker, and how you can play a tiny $2 microcap for short-term gains up to 542%. All right, so obviously, all headlines need to be useful, right? They need to provide some sort of benefit. So you can play this $2 microcap, make a bunch of money. So it comes down to writing a good headline, knowing your audience. You need to know what they want. This guy wants to make money fast. So what you do is you strip out details that don't really say anything. And you can create a totally mysterious aura, right? So, for instance, if I told you this sentence, like I said, he bared his teeth and growled. The hairs on the back of his neck stood straight. His muscles flexed with nervous tension, and his body shook, right? Those are details that don't really tell you anything. Am I talking about a wolf? Am I talking about a dog? Am I talking about a hungry person in line at Dunkin' Donuts? Like, who's just got someone cut in front of him? Like, you don't really know the situation. I've given you a bunch of details. But at the end of the day, you don't have a damn clue what I'm talking about, right? So what you can do with the details headline is simply pull out details about the thing that you're going to talk about. They don't really tell you anything. So the Pentagon has purchased millions worth of this liquid tech, and I think it's like ethanol or something. I took a guess at it. I'm not exactly sure what it was. And then they said it's inside this unmarked tanker. Like, the fact that the tanker is marked or unmarked doesn't make any difference, but just by labeling the specifics, you actually create a weird itch that needs to be scratched. It's one of the funnest ways to look at in copywriting, because the brain draws these conclusions. It's crazy. Your brain will draw these conclusions, and when you see unmarked tanker, you're like, oh, that's suspicious. But is it really? Is it maybe just a truck with some ethanol in it? Like, that's the thing. Like, when you word it like that, you can just take these details, string them together as such that it creates a mood. And that's the brilliance in copywriting, is forcing people to draw those conclusions and get them intrigued. All right, so this one is, I call it the fairy tale come to life. So just do something like this, where we're talking about the fountain of youth. Just pick something that's so, like, out there and, like, legend, right? And say, here it is, it's finally real. Once you do that, you can kind of get their attention, because they're ready to call BS, so they'll probably go ahead and read that next line. But the next line here is about medical news, the biggest medical news in history, and the biggest financial story. So maybe if you're looking to make money fast, then you might read on to the next line and see what that financial thing is. So basically the fountain of youth thing, that fairy tale come to life, is just grabbing that attention, shifting it immediately to what they really want to talk about, that financial story. That's what they want to sell you. So yeah, just pick something legendary, you know, that you can tie your offer or product to. What is legend out there? And say, this is it. This is actually that thing now happening. All right, so that's number 4, the fairy tale come to life. Pick something almost like mythological. All right, let's go to number 5. I really like this one because this one is very, I would say, not clever. But this one I think is doing really well. This promo is doing well. But I like it because it kind of just covers all the bases. I like this one. I'm calling it the breakthrough one. And essentially, if you look at this, this is just a breakthrough headline. And it's basically like new, easy, safe, and big, like just in your face. So the most important message you'll ever get from us, so that's big, right? Please read carefully. Announcing, that's new. Patent pending, only. Whisper trading, only. Okay, that's like a secret gimmick mechanism that means us. And then the word breakthrough. So it's like it totally hits on this new and only, and then also big. You always gotta, your headline should be attention grabbing and big in some way. But basically they just kind of tell you it's new and they tell you it's big. It's the most important thing, and it's a breakthrough. That's so straightforward. Like, you don't have to be clever to say that. Like, there's nothing in here that you could not have dreamed up. It's a patent pending whisper trading breakthrough. Took over a year, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and the help of one genius mathematician, but we finally discovered an unprecedented, meaning new, trading breakthrough, meaning new, that can predict, that's safe and predictable, which stocks are set to jump next. Okay. There are 4 things that I hammer, and I wrote that whole book, Take Their Money, at kylethewriter.com/book. Whole book is based on these 4 things, what I call the big 4 emotions that you must tackle when you're writing copy. And they are new, easy, safe, and big. And if you look back at this headline, I love this headline so much because it's basically like, it's like the most standard, like it just handles business, man. It's big. It's the most important message. They're announcing it, meaning it's new. It's patent pending. So news multiplier, which I call an alter ego in the book, is only, meaning that you can only get this secret information through us. So if you can make something new and only available through you, it will be more powerful. So they do that right here, announcing our patent pending. They do it right there. It's new and only. Right there, side by side. They said it, and then they amplified it. And they call it whisper trading, and they give it a secret name, right? Whatever that gimmick is, it could be a very normal thing. They just took a normal thing. When you see quotations in copywriting, you see quotations like this, what usually has happened is there's something very boring that they don't want to say because it sounds very unoriginal, and they put quotations around something and call it something else. And that's basically what we got here. They just took an old thing and made it new, and then they wrapped it again in a new, this is like a new sandwich, right? Right? This line is new, and then the word breakthrough means new. So it's not a clever headline, but it's powerful. It's working. It's selling well, as far as I've seen so far. And I've got a bonus one here. Boop, boop. This is Trump bonus checks. This is the one me and Rob Braddock wrote. And I'll tell you, it was Rob Braddock that came up with Trump bonus checks. We'll call this one the top of mind headline. Okay, this is the top of mind headline trick. So there are 2 things in this headline, Trump and the bonus checks. And Trump was the hot thing at the time because he's Trump. He's in the news every day, all day. You love him or hate him. He's a very polarizing figure, so he grabs attention. Now, the next line is bonus checks. Okay, where do bonus checks come from? Well, the bonus checks is because at Agora Financial, at this point in history, not just Agora Financial, but the financial publishing world, there were income promos, or check promos they are called sometimes. They were hot. Like, people could not get enough of check promos or income promos. So we just, Rob Braddock, took Trump, the hot thing in the news, took checks, the hot promo at the time, and literally just smashed them together. Trump bonus checks. Not clever. I just took 2 things, smashed them together. Now I've got a high-performing, very high-performing promo from that idea, right? These big ideas and like being clever and like having these wispy thoughts where you go and like take like a 4-hour walk and it just hits you or something. That's cool. I mean, you can do it that way, but you don't need to, right? So here's 6 now. I'm gonna title it 5, and whenever you watch this on YouTube, if you're not watching it live, you'll be like, wow, 6 instead of 5. So that's like my little cool, clever thing for you. See, I'm not clever. I'm not smart. All right. Thanks so much for tuning in. Okay, so by the way, if you want to learn how to write words that really make you rich, get my book, Take Their Money, at kylethewriter.com/book. Thanks so much, Copy Squad. Peace out.